Hi, you guys. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author Lady ReShell of Take Charge of Cancer and the founder of Warriors Talk, where we empower individuals to take action that leads to a healthier lifestyle. Tonight is day 12, and we are going to talk about African American women and the triple threat that we face when it comes to breast cancer. So join me. So here we are at day 12 talking about African American women who face a triple threat when it comes to breast cancer. And that triple threat is being diagnosed at a younger age. The cancer tends to be more aggressive in us, and the mortality rate for African American women is high. So we're going to talk about some of those things tonight. We all know that breast cancer is the most common cancer that's diagnosed in women in the US as a whole, right? So this year, according to the American Cancer Society, more than 281,550 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed, and 49,290 cases of non-invasive cancer in the United States in women will be diagnosed. And we talked about this on a previous show, that the invasive breast cancer is when it doesn't stay in the spot that it started. So it may have started in the breast, but then it moved to like the lymph nodes, or it moved outside of that breast tissue. So that's an alarming number, when you think about breast cancer, and you think about, especially with African American women, when you think about the numbers, it's alarming. So I'm hoping that these 31 days, 31 facts in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, that you guys are, you're getting the knowledge that you need to empower yourself to make healthier decisions. So there has been an overall 40% decline in the breast cancer death rate. So over the last 30 years, which is great, right? Because we see more people with breast cancer living, right? And they are attributing that to the awareness, the early diagnosis, and the treatments that they have out now. It's supposed to be much better than it was back 30 years ago. Women have different options that they can choose from. But why are women, African American women, dying at an alarming rate when it comes to breast cancer? There continues to be a persistent mortality gap between Black women and white women. At one point in time, the incidence of breast cancer, white women were being diagnosed more than African American women, right? Although they were getting diagnosed more, we are dying more. But now that gap of the incidents are being closed because more and more African American women are being diagnosed with cancer, with breast cancer. So the likelihood of an African American woman dying from cancer, it's 40% right now. Like, this is I don't even know where to start to say, okay, really, this is what we need to do, and this is going to work, and this is going to bring these numbers down, it's going to eliminate these numbers. But it says Black women have a 40% higher likelihood of dying from breast cancer than any other race. Like, that right there is so alarming, because in a person's head, when you hear this statistics, and if you are African American and you hear that you have cancer, your thoughts are going to go straight to dying. Like, oh my God, I'm going to die, because according to statistics, more African Americans die than any other race. And the triple threat is it's more aggressive. So not only are we dying more, but when we do get diagnosed, our cancers are more aggressive, and it tends to be more younger and younger African American women are being diagnosed. So that's the triple threat. So what accounts for the disparities when it comes to African American and the other races, right? Since we tend to get diagnosed more. So according to statistics, they say social, economics, behavioral factors, those are just partly to blame for African Americans getting diagnosed. So we talked about the environmental factor, where if you get diagnosed with breast cancer and then like a close relative get diagnosed with breast cancer, and y'all kind of live and exist in the same environment, so some of y'all lifestyles or y'all habits are the same, so they would blame that on environment if it's not a genetic link. So I mean, some things are within our control and some things are not. They also blamed it on inadequate screening, treatment, and lack of access to treatment. So, we know that some people may not have insurance, and some people may have insurance that don't cover everything. You may be waiting for referrals. It may take you a long time to get a referral to go to the next appointment that you have to follow up for. It may fall through the cracks that, you may see one doctor this week and then you go in a month later, it's a totally different doctor. So, nothing is really consistent. You don't have like a relationship with, your physician. So you can kind of like, this person knows me, they know about my situation, instead of them coming in and reading, doing like a quick crash course on you, and you fighting for your life. Like, and the inadequate screening, that could be, maybe you're in a neighborhood to where you can't get to the doctor. I would say you can't get to the clinics. So, and maybe the equipment that they're using is not, adequate equipment to where it's gonna be able to catch some type of abnormalities. Or you're not even, going in when you're supposed to for the screenings. Like if you are 40 years old, you should be going in to get your mammograms annually, right? Again, if you had somebody in your family that had cancer, then you should be going in or talking to your doctor and letting them know what the situation is. I can really agree with like the inadequate treatment, because depending on the neighborhood that you're in and what type of money or funding that they get, maybe from these different programs or whatever, you may have top doctors in certain neighborhoods, so their skill set is different, so the treatment is going to be different. It shouldn't be different, but a lot of times it is. So, and a lot of times we may not have access to different treatments that may be available in different neighborhoods. So they also said that Black women are more likely. This is supposed to be hurting us as well. We're more likely to have diabetes, high blood pressure. They said we're most likely to not breastfeed our children, and be obese. So these are some of the risk factors as it relates to cancer, and these are some of the things that they're seeing in African American women. When diabetes, when you're overweight, then that's a risk factor for diabetes. And so some of these things like heart disease, just exercising, eating right, some of these things, even losing weight, some of these things, those are things that are controllable. Those are things that are within our control that we can handle if we just put a plan in place. So the second reason why African Americans women have this triple threat when it comes to breast cancer is why we don't participate in clinical trials. It said that African Americans as a whole, it's only 15%. We account for 15% of participants when it comes to clinical trials. So most of the clinical trials is being done on white women. So when the medicine and the treatments come out, guess who's surviving off of it? Caucasian women, because it is not us. Not at 40%, definitely not us. So we do have to participate in clinical trials. We do. Because if we don't, we're going to continue to see this high mortality rate as it relates to African American women. Because they're not studying this medicine, these different treatments on our bodies, on our makeup, our genetic makeup. it's being done on Caucasian women. So when they get breast cancer, it's already been studied on them. So it's 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a positive for them and a negative for us. And I'm not sure why African Americans are not. Let me say that I do know why. I do know why. We have a mistrust of the system, right? We just have this mistrust, and we have to somehow try to get past that mistrust when it comes to the medical system, especially the medical system, especially when your life is on the line. Like at some point, we have to be able to say, okay, I'm gonna have to trust somebody if I want to survive, if I want to have, you know if I want to have a fighting chance. So the mistrust, to eliminate the mistrust, is to have a good relationship with your doctor, a good communication with your doctor, someone that you trust, you feel comfortable with, you can talk to. And if you don't feel that way, you can always change, switch out. But this is where it starts, is having that good relationship with your doctor, being able to talk to your doctor and tell your doctor things and feel comfortable with your doctor making decisions as it relates to your health, right? And then when a doctor gives you things to do for your health, make sure that you are following those things, because a lot of times we don't. We may follow it for a week, or we may leave the doctor's office and be like, I ain't doing that. Like, he wanted me to cut this out and cut that out. I ain't doing that, man. Gotta die from something. Oh my God. And people say that, so I'm not just making it up. You got to die from something. So, and some of it is that people may not know about clinical trials. Like, they may not know what clinical trials do or what it entails, because a lot of times we think that it's medical and they're going to be like shooting some type of medicine in us, when that's not even it. So, a lot of them may be like a survey. They may be asking you questions, or they may draw some blood, and may want to, like, just monitor you for a while to see, what happens with that. So, so a lot of things we just don't have the knowledge on, and we just go off of that and we run off of that. And we don't want to be open to change or to hear anything different. And if it's not working for us because women are dying, it's not working for us because we're dying at an alarming rate, and we should not be. If white women can be diagnosed with breast cancer and get the treatment, and they have a 91% chance of survival, why can't we have that as African Americans? Why do we have to have a 40% chance of dying when we get diagnosed? It's just some things are some things we control. So another threat for us would be like harmful products that we use. Like if we're trying to use skin lightener to lighten our skins, some of you may have marks on your skin and you want to lighten it up. Like, those products have chemicals in it that messes with your endocrine system, and so it can cause you to be off. Like, some people be like, oh, I'm bleeding really heavy, or I didn't get my period, or you having all of these different issues because you're putting all these different things in your body that shouldn't be. Even like when we go get our nails done at the salon, like all of that stuff, the formaldehyde, all of that stuff that they're using to, sculpt our nails, is not healthy. It's just not healthy. I mean, it's healthy to grow your own nails, but a lot of people don't have time to do that. So you can also buy the nails that you glue on. I know you're still using the glue, but it's a little less safer than the sculpting of the nails and putting all of that acrylic on you. Even the hair relaxers that we get, the dyes that we dye our hair with, like all of the chemicals in there, it's harmful. It really is harmful for our body. So the one thing that I really appreciate about my cancer diagnosis is that it allowed me to move away from relaxers, because I'm telling you, if I didn't have a cancer diagnosis, I would still have a relaxer in my hair. And I love my curls, so I'm grateful that I was able to at least move away from that. Even some of the fragrances that we use, it has, certain chemicals in it. I remember that Susan G. Komen they came out with this perfume that they were promoting for breast cancer awareness, but it was made with harmful chemicals, and they had to pull it and reformulate it, because it's like, how you going to sell this perfume that has these chemicals in it when, we're preaching and teaching, for safe products. So just start being more aware and conscious of the products that you use, and just try to just try to make different choices. Another thing that may harm African Americans when it comes to breast cancer is that we don't want to get the knowledge. We don't want to get the knowledge. We want to just go with what we heard from grandmama and them and what they did, and a lot of that stuff worked, some of it didn't work. But right now, there's so many avenues for us to get information from. We can go to the internet, we can study on our own, you can ask your doctor, like, it's so many different ways for us to get information to make an informed decision when it comes to our lives. Like, at some point you should be growing, and when you are getting the knowledge, then you can make better decisions. They said that the women who were educated, who had education when it comes to breast cancer, they found that they make better health choices, right? And it could be because maybe, I'm hoping that everybody can read. Maybe the person didn't read, or couldn't read, or couldn't comprehend what was being said, or what was being read, or whatever, or so that could be it too. And then when you don't understand something, then you may be afraid of it, or you may not want to do it because you don't understand it. So get the knowledge. We have to get the knowledge. So some things that we can do is we can take action. These are things that you can control, to decrease your risk, and of just getting breast cancer altogether. Okay, decrease your risk. Okay, so take action. You can get genetic testing. We talked about that the other night. When you get genetic testing, it tells you if you have that hereditary link. And the way that you even know that you have a hereditary, you may have one, is to talk to your family, get to know your family history. And I keep preaching this, get to know your family history so that you can know if you need to go take the genetic test or have genetic counseling. And once you get that, then those results give you power to make an informed decision moving forward with your breast health. You can also move to doing natural products, and it's not going to be an overnight process. Just start buying more and more healthier products, or make your own products. More and more people are making their own products, but the main thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you're making healthier lifestyle choices. And making healthier lifestyle choices is going to allow you to decrease your risk. It's going to allow you to decrease your risk as it relates to breast cancer, as it relates to your breast health. And we know, African American women, we have this issue with our weight. We do. 4 out of 5 African American women are overweight. That's something that we can do. That's something that we can control. And the way that we do that is by, exercising, watching what we eat, and making sure that, we are staying within our weight class. It's just little things that we can do on our own to make sure that, we are decreasing our risk when it comes to breast cancer. So I hope that you guys have learned something tonight as it relates to African American women facing the triple threat when it comes to breast cancer. Again, that triple threat is women are being diagnosed at a younger age. It tends to be more aggressive, and our mortality rate is higher. It's higher. So 40% of African American women diagnosed with breast cancer will die. And that number is so high, and it's alarming, it's scary, but I guess it's not scary enough, because some of this stuff is in our hands that we can do, and that we can implement, and we can change. And until that happens, the numbers are going to continue to be that way. So knowledge is power, but if you don't do anything with the knowledge, if you don't take action with the awareness is key. But awareness is key. Early detection does save life, but you have to do something with it. So you have to take action behind it. All right, I'm done preaching, you guys. I hope that you have enjoyed day 12 of 31 days, 31 facts in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is author Lady ReShell of Take Charge of Cancer, and the founder of Warriors Talk, where we are empowering individuals to take action that leads to a healthier lifestyle.